It's to 6 o'clock. Today's confession comes from a supportive sister. That's how vague it is.
Okay.
Supportive sister writes, Father Simon, Sister Katie Susie, and brother from another gutter. I'm actually writing on behalf of my brother, who recently confessed this burden, having been given a book commemorating his alma mater's 75th birthday, his old school 75th birthday. It's quite interesting. So, sister writing in on behalf of brother.
Yeah.
I see. Feel free to confess on behalf of someone else if you wish. As you've probably guessed, this goes back to his school days and begins on his very first day in secondary school in County Mayo in Ireland, no relation, in the early 1980s. It's from a completely different route, by the way.
Is it?
My Mayo is from Matthew. County Mayo is from like a row of trees or row of yew trees or something like
Really?
that.
Right. Okay.
Just passing that on, a little bit of extra education in there. Which was not required.
No.
Anyway, secondary school in the early 80s. Like most 12-year-olds there, he arrived apprehensively from a small rural co-ed primary school to a reasonably large boys' secondary school, only to have the principal, let's call him Father Damien, take an immediate dislike to him. Now, I have absolute sympathy for my brother, as I had the same immediate issue in my all-girls school, which was a surprise for each of us, as neither of us had had an older sibling to justify this dislike. Anyway, this decision by Father Damien was the root of a 5-year-old battle of wills on both sides, and let's just say Father Damien did not fare too well. Father Damien decided that there were to be strict rules introduced in the school, one being no smoking. But can I just say at the beginning, actually, more or less at the beginning.
Go on.
I'm going to give it a PG because a lot of smoking, maybe a 15 actually, and smoking is never a good idea.
No, it's not.
Just making that very clear. Anyway, Father Damien agrees with us. And he had a rule, and it was no smoking. Different times, as Brother Matt would say.
But still.
But actually still exactly the same times.
Correct.
One of the... So actually, Father Damien... He was right.
He was right. Yeah.
One of the consequences was obviously the confiscation of the offending cigarettes and further disciplinary action for repeat offences. But this would only happen if Father Damien actually caught anybody smoking. This was a joy to my brother, as he viewed this as a battle that he would win hands down, as although Father Damien was the principal, he was not exactly full of logic. So the boys could easily spot him standing on the roof of the school with binoculars to see who was indeed smoking. But by the time he got to the area, it was always too late. For example, one occasion a football match was underway and a number of the players were smoking. Now, this is different times.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over to you. Because they talk like that in County Mayo. Imagine, I mean, what a scene that
Wow.
is. My brother was in goal, so that's okay. Yeah, because if you're leaning against the goalpost, where their goal was or something, that's, again, always a bad thing. Father Damien... This is where it becomes another sitcom. Father Damien spotted the fact that this football match was taking place with a whole bunch of them smoking, and he screeched across the football pitch in his car to try and apprehend them. But obviously they saw him coming, and they ran away.
Oh.
However, you'd think you could catch someone in a car, wouldn't you? However, Father Damien was by now the colour of a large overripe beetroot. He knew my brother was one of the offenders and he chased after him, not in the car now. He chased down the school corridor only for my brother to mysteriously disappear. Father D was nonplussed and incandescent. My brother then reappeared magically behind him, nonchalantly walking past in the other direction. I know it was you smoking, mate. Me, sir? Me, sir? No, sir. My brother replied innocently and smelling of mince. How could it be me? Because you're going down there and I was up here. I'm coming from entirely the wrong direction. You've got the wrong person. I asked how he managed to do this, and my brother confessed to an event that allowed him to disappear and reappear. 1 year, it's not a Harry Potter thing. 1 year there was an art exhibition, though there is a major edit about to turn up.
Okay.
One year there was an art exhibition in the school gym, and for some bizarre reason Father Damien decided that the boys were likely to nick framed artwork. So posted my brother's friend, I mean how stupid, on security duty. This role allowed him access to keys, which included a skeleton key to all of the classrooms. Think what you could have done at school with one of those. Well, this was all my brother needed. He got a lift into town. I think that's okay. Altered to keep it within criminal law. And went to get a spare skeleton key cut. This then allowed him into all of the classrooms and every room in the school, and then out through the second door that each classroom had. Hence, he could disappear and reappear at will, running round the back. So here's the thing, Father Simon, I would like to beg forgiveness on his behalf, not from Father Damien, as he's gone off to meet his maker. He doesn't really deserve it either, says supportive sister, but the boys in the years behind my brother, as on his last day there, he handed the skeleton key, over to the next group. Forgiveness is required from the year group that eventually did get caught with the key, and so the pupils' access to all homework answers and examination papers were gone forever. My brother doesn't smoke now and left the school as a well-respected, peer-appointed head prefect, much to the disgust of Father Damien. Remember, kids, smoking is a dumb habit. Just added that one. I mean, but in the same authorial voice. Does that work?
Yes.
Very, very good. Anyway, so the voice of responsibility is definitely Sister Katie, Susie.
Yeah, and I think the voice of responsibility can only say one thing in response to this confession, which is not forgiven. I do think Father Damien was right. We do not support smoking in school.
We don't.
And supportive sister, I mean, she's been a good sister. Does she get the smart speaker or does her brother get the smart speaker? That's
I think supportive sister. I think supportive sister does. A brother from another country?
There was so much going on in that. The football match with the smoking, I love that. It all reminds me of that picture of Johan Cruyff having a sneaky cigarette at half-time. And decided to drive onto the football pitch to catch people and standing on the roof with your binoculars. I mean, taking it a little farther, Father Damien. I'm going to forgive, because let he who has not used a skeleton key to try and dodge Father Damien cast the first stone.
I haven't.
And I think we all can say that we've done that at some point.